Dear parents, many of us were raised to believe that discipline meant teaching children what not to do. Don't talk back. Don't make mistakes. Don't break the rules. And when children do mess up, the focus is usually on consequences. What punishment fits the behavior? What will finally make them learn their lesson? But there's another approach, one that creates a completely different family atmosphere. It's called problem-solving discipline. And while the shift may sound small, it changes everything. Let's talk about why punishment so often falls short. Punishment might stop a behavior in the moment, but it rarely teaches children how to do better next time. Instead, what children often learn is to hide their mistakes, to feel shame, to fight back against the rules, or simply to give up. They might comply on the outside, but inside, they aren't actually growing. Problem-solving works differently. It teaches children essential life skills: how to think critically, how to reflect on their actions, how to cooperate with others, and how to handle future challenges with confidence instead of being passive recipients of rules. Children become active participants in finding solutions, and here's the magic. When children feel respected and included, their cooperation naturally increases. Think about it this way. Punishment looks backward. It says, you did something wrong. Now you have to pay for it. It's focused on the past mistake. Problem solving, on the other hand, looks forward. It asks, okay, what happened, Dan? How can we do better next time? When we shift our focus this way, mistakes stop being something to fear. They become opportunities to learn and grow together. So, how do we guide our children toward good solutions? Here's a simple guide. A good solution should be, first, related to the problem; second, respectful to everyone involved, including the child; third, reasonable for the child's age and abilities; and finally, helpful in preventing the problem from happening again. This framework keeps us out of those exhausting power struggles and keeps the focus where it belongs, on growth, not on control. There is a powerful classroom example that illustrates this perfectly. In one classroom, students were asked to brainstorm consequences for kids who came back late from recess. Their ideas were pretty typical: writing names on the board, losing recess time, staying after school, or getting yelled at by the teacher. Then, the teacher changed the question. She said, let's forget about consequences for a minute. What would actually help kids get back on time? The ideas completely transformed. Suddenly, the students suggested things like playing closer to where the bell is, having friends remind each other, making the bell louder, or assigning a buddy to help everyone remember. It's the same problem, but a totally different mindset. One list focused on punishment and control. The other focused on helping and support. When children help create the solutions, something powerful happens. They feel respected, capable, and connected to their family or community. Even children who are often labeled as difficult begin to change when they experience support. Instead of shame, their behavior improves not because they're afraid of being punished, but because they feel valued and understood. So, what does this look like at home, in our everyday lives? Problem-solving discipline sounds a lot more collaborative. When milk spills, instead of yelling, you might say, or oh, what needs to happen now? When something gets broken, it's, how can we fix this together? If a teenager comes home late, instead of an immediate lecture, it's, let us talk about this tomorrow when we both come and figure out a plan that works for both of us. The goal is not to let kids avoid responsibility. The goal is to teach responsibility without using humiliation. A crucial part of this is timing. Problem solving just doesn't work when emotions are running high, when children or adults, for that matter, are upset. The brain shifts into fight or flight mode. Logic and reason pretty much shut down. That's why calming down always comes first. This isn't a punishment, and it's not isolation. It's simply a pause to reset our nervous systems. This pause might look different for every child. It could be a quiet space with some favorite books, a short walk outside, deep breathing exercises together, listening to some calming music, or just giving them some time and space. The key idea is simple. We all need to feel better before we can do better. This brings us to the traditional timeout and why it often backfires. Imagine your partner or a friend saying to you, "Go sit alone in that chair and think about what you did." Would that truly help you reflect, or would it just make you feel ashamed and resentful? Children feel the exact same way. A positive pause is different. It is designed to help children regulate their big emotions instead of making them feel punished for having them. And when we, as adults, muddle taking a break ourselves when we're frustrated, children learn that calming down is a valuable life skill, not a consequence for bad behavior. Once everyone is calm, the real learning can begin. But instead of launching into long lectures, try getting curious. Asking good questions is far more effective. Helpful questions might include, what were you hoping would happen when you did that? How did that feel for you? What do you think led to this problem? And the most important one, what might help us do things differently next time? Try to avoid the question, why did you do that? It often sounds like an accusation and can put kids on the defensive. When children have the space to reflect without feeling blamed, that's when real, lasting learning happens. The long-term payoff of this approach is immense. When parents shift from punishment to problem solving, children learn that mistakes are just a normal part of learning. They learn that their emotions are manageable and can be handled safely. They learn that problems can be solved respectfully, and that taking responsibility doesn't have to involve shame. Those constant power struggles start to fade away because no one is trying to win anymore. Instead, you are on the same team, working together. Let's end with this final thought. The true goal of discipline is not control, it's growth. When we stop asking ourselves, how do I make my child stop this behavior? And start asking, what skill does my child need to learn right now? We change the entire dynamic. We begin to raise children who don't just behave better, they think better, feel better, and ultimately, do better in the world. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.